Hello and welcome to another episode of Palmer Schools Presents. I am your host, Matthew Francis, Superintendent of Palmer Public Schools. We have an exciting episode today, and joining me right now is Principal Susan North from Palmer High. Welcome.
Thank you.
And School Counselor and Department Head, Christina Dobecki-Holloway.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Ms. North, before we get too much into it, just a couple background for our viewing audience. How long have you been principal at Palmer High?
I've been principal at Palmer High School for 8 years.
8 years, and total district, because you've been in the district for quite some time.
Yes, I have. So this is my 30th year being in the Palmer District schools as an educator.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Always in Palmer too?
Always.
Nowhere coming prior to?
Always in Palmer. I've been very lucky to be in this community.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. Now, Palmer High, for a viewing audience, is somewhat different than other typical high schools throughout the Commonwealth because of the grade span.
Yes.
Can you explain, just for the viewing audience, what is the grade span within Palmer High?
Yes, so Palmer High School is currently this year a 6th through 12th grade, and as we go into our next school year, it will be a 7th through 12th grade.
And it's been a 6 through 12 since about, 2017, 2016, something, when Converse Middle School was closed.
Right, and when Converse Middle School had closed, they consolidated the grades, and that is when the 6th and 7th grade came over to Palmer High School.
So I can only imagine, as a former middle school principal, right? Middle school in itself is an interesting animal.
Yes,
High school itself is another interesting, and when you put it all in one.
yes.
But there's a lot of exciting things going on in Palmer High. What are we talking about today?
So there's a couple different things that we're talking about. So one thing is our school to career programs, and then our course offerings and what we have to offer for our students. And a lot of those course offerings are very much student centered, where they have a voice and they advocate for different courses that they're looking for. So we're going to talk about that today, as well as our international travel. And so something that has happened is we do a survey to students to see what is their interest. So something that came out of that survey was that students were really looking for business. They're looking for more business courses. And so we have the opportunity next school year to be offering a business pathways.
And that's with Christina joining us. And before I get to you, Christina, at some point, you're going to be visiting. You mentioned student voice and things like
Yes.
that, and I know at some point you're going to be visiting with two of our current seniors that will
Correct.
be graduating.
That is
graduating
correct.
as well. So
Yes.
I can't wait to look forward to that. But Ms. Dobecki-Holloway, welcome again.
Thank you.
Ms. North was talking about the business pathway, and this is going to be new for next year. Can you explain pretty much what it is? Ms. North talked about how it kind of came about, but what is a business and finance pathway?
Yeah, so we're very excited to have this coming next year. So in general, the career pathways are connecting student learning to a broad spectrum of relevant coursework to an industry. So we're starting with the business pathway. Like you said, Mrs. North, the survey, 20% of our students were interested in business. So we're kicking off with business. Some of this program is going to be what we already have, tapping into our existing resources. So the School to Career Internship Program, our financial literacy course is really applicable to this. We have partnerships with HCC dual enrollment courses, other community organizations like Boy State, which teaches leadership, and Credit for Life through Country Bank, using all of those existing resources and then building upon it. So our first big step for next year is our Intro to Business course. So this is a general course. We're really targeting our rising 9th graders, the class of 2028.
So current 8th grade going into 9th.
You got it.
This is like the first cohort that's going to be through this.
Absolutely. So they can apply into this pathway, but because we don't want our high school students to feel left out, we're allowing them to take the courses as well. But right, that cohort that's going to be 9th graders next year, we have about 10 students really interested right now, but we're using our interest inventory results to kind of have more conversations about who would this be great for and what you could use it for. So one of the great things about business is that not only is it going to set you up for a career in business, but the skills are so transferable that the skills of public speaking or decision making or critical thinking that they're going to work on in these programs will help them in whatever field they choose. You know, they're 14 years old. Do they know what they want to do yet?
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe not. But we're
Right.
going to set them up to have the best track. So we're kicking off with the Intro to Business. That's going to be just a general economics, marketing, social media management, communications, all of that to give them a broad understanding. And then build upon that with accounting, marketing, some of the more specific business content.
Business. And I appreciate your point in saying all these other soft skills that will
Yes.
come with it. And people may get hung up with saying, all right, a business pathway, that is a very narrow, but it's actually a very broad spectrum that you can get involved in.
Absolutely. You use those skills in most jobs, right? And it's also nice because it gives the students a clear path to say, you know, when they graduate, they're going to get that designation on their transcript. We're going to have a special ceremony for them. It'll be a recognition that they can put on their resumes and talk about in college or interviews that, hey, I went through this path. I completed an internship. I did this hands-on project. You know, we have our school store in Palmer High School. So utilizing that for some of those project-based learning things is, I think we have a really good thing coming.
And I
Yeah.
appreciate even you saying that, you know, upon graduation, they will be credentialed.
Yes.
Thus, it'll be on their transcript and so on and so forth. So the student that is going into a career can put it on their resume and show that I have this experience in this. Those that are going off to college, you would think are going to go into a business, economics, marketing, something to that effect.
Right.
Kind of a piece as well. And the one thing, you know, you hear a lot of, you know, students that choose a vocational route or a vocational school. This is kind of like the alternative with a pathway program.
Absolutely.
You had mentioned 10 students are either interested, and you mentioned also like an application process.
Yes.
Are students expected to apply now, or is this something that is coming as they are entering ninth grade?
So we have a group of students who said, yes, sign me up, I want to be in this. And then we have a group that are interested in hearing more.
Got it.
So we're going to target them this last month of school to give them more information. I really think the Intro to Business class will be open their eyes to see what is business, because business can be a very vague word for middle schoolers to even wrap their head around, and to see some of the real world examples of how you can apply business. I think will be really great. In the future, this is our first year. In the future, we will kind of step down to 7th grade and start marketing to the 7th graders.
No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun
Yeah.
intended.
pun
Right,
intended.
right.
And you had mentioned, I know we're visiting later on with Miss Auntie, who does the school to career. That's going to be an important piece of this pathway as well.
Absolutely. So a lot of our students participate in the school to career already.
Yes.
I'd say at least half of
correct.
each grade,
Large number.
11th and 12th grade. Having that partnership already in place is critical for this business pathway, because there's businesses everywhere. I mean, Palmer's a small town, but we've got a lot of great resources with small businesses.
Yeah.
So we're excited to have that already in place and to make it more relevant and more aligned with what the student is interested in.
It sounds wonderful, and I can tell from your excitement that you're excited for what's coming down the
Yes,
pike.
yeah. I think this will be a really great thing.
Well, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you for having me.
Welcome back. Principal North, who do we have with us right now?
Oh, so we are so lucky to have Karen Ante, who is our School to Career Coordinator, and she's also on the River East Board. So Karen, can you tell us about our School to Career program at Palmer High School and all the different community members and businesses that you work with?
Absolutely. So School to Career is a class that is available to 11th and 12th grade students. Instead of sitting in a classroom, they are placed with mentors and go to an internship for about 7 hours a week. So based on the student's area of interest, a career that they're interested in pursuing after high school, they get placed with a mentor. And it could be local businesses, human service agencies, healthcare, nonprofits, first responders. It really runs the gamut.
Yeah. And then I know that we are lucky to have one senior who is working with our superintendent
Yeah.
to do an externship. So, and we have the opportunity to touch base with that senior to get a student perspective about her view on what it is like to be part of the School to Career program.
Absolutely. So that's an exciting program where you're having the student work on marketing for Palmer Public Schools. So it's a great way for students to try out the career field that they might be interested in before entering either a college or career program or the workforce. Just as valuable for a student to learn what they don't like
Right.
as it is what they do like. Plus, with the cost of education these days,
Right.
it's so valuable for students to have a better understanding of that career field, the ins, the outs, what it's really like before venturing off.
Couple of questions. Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt you, but a couple of questions I had. You had mentioned it's juniors and seniors only.
Correct.
You had also mentioned now, or maybe you didn't, and I apologize. Students show interest in a field. So is it done through a survey? Is it like, how does an individual know about your program and get involved with your program?
It's an elective at Palmer High School that they can take. Some students will come in saying they know exactly what they want, and we do a little more self-assessment to try and figure out if that's actually what they're interested in. For example, someone might say, I want to be a veterinarian, but then we'll probe a little bit more.
Yeah.
And what does that really involve? We do use a tool. There are several self-assessment and career search tools available. There's one specifically in Massachusetts called Mass Hire that the students will go into and do that self-assessment, look at what are their values, what are their interests, what are their skills, how do those all align with careers of interest. And then beyond that, what's a salary range, what kind of education is required, are there licenses required? So yeah, we do all that coordination.
And is this a semester? Can this go year long?
Yes, so typically it's for one semester. Sometimes students will continue on for the year. Sometimes they'll do one internship for one semester and then another placement with a different mentor
whether
for
or not
the.
they can go to different industries and try out a couple
Yes.
different instead of just being locked into one.
Absolutely, highly recommend that. Yeah.
Total number of students at any given time, or even this school year, how many students do you think are going through the School to Career internship?
This year we have about 30 students. Based on class size,
Sure.
we've had as many as 50 in a year.
Within a given year, and
Right.
you had said juniors can do it, seniors can do it as well. So, I mean, they're getting a vast opportunity or vast array to see what's out there for their own interest. And like you said, going into a career after school or into a 4-year or 2-year college, so they have a better understanding of what to study as well.
Right. All the different pathways. And even beyond that, some students have not worked before. So they're just learning, what is it like to show up every day? What does it mean to be professional? To maintain confidentiality? All of those, what to wear. Very powerful experience for students.
We are on a local channel right now, so I want to give the opportunity to plug some of the local businesses that have partnered with the Palmer Public Schools for this program. So is there some regular businesses out there, organizations out there that you can count on that are always taking our interns?
Sure. Palmer Ambulance, for one, has had interns for as long as I can remember. They do such a great job with our interns that many of our students' alumni continue to work there years later. Yes,
Which helps
absolutely.
the business out as well as the intern. It's
Right. They've
Right.
actually enrolled in the EMT course that we have at Palmer High School so that they are able to get their certification and move in that line in their career. Yeah.
But we've also had lots of success with many other local businesses. We also partner with River East School to Career. I serve on that board, and that is a collaboration with other school to career facilitators like myself, but also local businesses, community college representatives. It's a great
Like a
collaboration.
networking type of
Yeah.
organization.
Right, right.
Are there any holes? Are you looking for certain job categories that you wish, hopefully somebody will see this and say, oh yeah, I
Sure.
can fill that hole for you. Is there a common interest or common interests that it's more difficult to get a student placed versus another?
I would say currently healthcare can be a challenge. Businesses are actually a challenge. So we are always looking to expand our program, and folks out there watching who think, oh, I might be a good mentor or enjoy having a student can contact the school and get in
That
touch
was
with
my
me.
very next question,
Yeah.
so thank you for throwing it in there. Contact either Ms. North or yourself.
Right.
And is there a process by which a business has to go about in order to then take interns?
Definitely. So we vet the mentors to make sure it's a safe situation for a high school student. They're Corey checked, and there's some other documents, but it's not very much. And then in terms of the mentors, the benefit to mentors, they can have students work on projects, take up some of the slack, be an extra set of hands.
Yeah.
It's also a great way to potentially train a new hire. It's great marketing.
Yeah.
I was completely amazed, coming into Palmer Public Schools, one, that we offer a school to career program, for being a smaller school in a smaller district, and just the sheer volume of students that participate. I was
Right.
blown away. So,
Right.
so thank you for all your work. I greatly appreciate it.
My pleasure. And for our students, their internship is the highlight of their day.
It sure is.
Yeah. Oh,
They really enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah. I also have to mention our other teachers are very supportive of the program. So we have a large number of students that have interned at Old Mill Pond and getting that education pathway.
Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for joining us.
My
It's
pleasure.
very
Thank you for
exciting.
the opportunity to talk about school to career.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. I am so excited to have two students here with me this morning to talk about different programs that we have at Palmer High School. So I have Sean Trichet and I have Vanessa Bear, who are both seniors at Palmer High School. So I'm gonna start with you, Sean. So first of all, I know that both of you are in the School to Career program. And so Sean, can you tell me what externship you're doing and tell us a little bit about what happens during that externship.
Okay, so my externship is at the Palmer Town Hall. I work in the community development department. My supervisor's name is John Latour, and then I also work with his assistant, Michelle. Throughout there, we created a great bond working on different projects that are sent in around the town. We did a project in Three Rivers where we redeveloped the park, for little kids. So now a lot of kids go there, play. Just working there, a lot with computers, working with files, organization, a lot of teamwork skills, working together just to make the community a better place and well structured.
That is great. Is that something that you're looking to go further in as you graduate from Palmer High School?
It's something I'm definitely interested in and looking forward to. It was more nice getting that type of working environment, working in the office with the computers, just kind of getting that feel for what it will be maybe 10 years from now when, I have a job, maybe I'm working in that sort of environment, working with, co-workers, maybe potentially being a supervisor and just kind of getting that feel for that working environment.
That's great. Thank you. And Vanessa, I know you're also part of the School to Career program. So can you please tell us what your externship is and how things are going through that?
I've been in school to career for 2 years, so I've had 2 different externships. Last year, my externship was with Lori from Lori's Designs, and she worked a lot with, she was a window company and designing company, and so she was able to like give me the opportunity to get in touch with other builders and people that she was going to work with, and to look at like what makes a good like person that she would like to work with, and really like scope them out and be like use my like skills like to figure out what makes like a good person to work with. And I was also able to use the app Handshake to meet different interns because she was looking for like another intern, so I was able to get in contact with new people who are interested in the same things that I am. And also for this year, my internship is with Mr. Francis, and I was able to find different apps and design templates to make brochures and pamphlets for the school, and be able to have new experiences with marketing for the school, because that's what I obviously want to go into when I'm in college. And I was told Miss Auntie that I was interested in marketing, and she aligned to me very good internships that I'm very appreciative.
Which has been fantastic. I know that you had designed the employees benefits fair flyer, and so we had sent that out to our entire school community, and you had designed that flyer.
Yeah, I was very surprised that it was everywhere. I was so happy that
Well, I was very proud because it was like you are a student at Palmer High School, and it was very well done, very appealing, and lots of information that was on there. So thank you. And then you have indicated that this is something that you want to pursue after you graduate from Palmer High School.
I'm majoring in marketing after high school.
That is great. That is so exciting. So I think that's a wonderful program that we have at Palmer High School, that students have the opportunity to explore different interests that they have. And you both have very different interests, and had the opportunity to work with community members to feel out, to see, is this something that I want to do when I graduate and continue and pursue, or maybe down the road pursue something. So that is great. So thank you for sharing your experience with that. Next, I'd like to talk about our international travel. And I definitely know, Vanessa, you have taken the opportunity to participate in, I think, about 3 trips you have gone on. So can you tell us about what trips you attended, and tell us one favorite thing about each of the trips?
So the international program is from ages 10, like grades 10 to 12. So I was able to go each year. And so as on my sophomore year, I traveled to Greece, and that was one of the biggest groups that we had. And it was super cool that we got to go on a cruise around a bunch of different islands in Greece, and you get to go to Turkey. And my favorite part would have to be Santorini. It was beautiful, and the white and blue buildings were beautiful.
That's great.
Unforgettable. And then my junior year, I went to Iceland. And I'd have to say that my favorite part of Iceland would be going to the Blue Lagoon, because not a lot of people can say that they could have done that.
Very true, right?
It's very beautiful, and I'm super lucky to have been able to be on that trip and experience that. And this year I traveled with, as a senior, to Costa Rica.
Wow.
And I'd have to say that the beaches were probably my favorite part, and with all the monkeys on the beaches. Or zip lining, because it was like a big zip lining course, and there was a huge zip lining over like a big river at the end.
That's exciting. Monkeys on the beach, huh? Wow. You can definitely say that you have had the opportunity to explore many different cultures and different countries, and the monkeys on the beach sound really cool. I've never experienced any of those things in which you have indicated, so that's a wonderful thing. Next, I'd like to talk about another program we have, which is all of our course offerings that we have for students. So one thing that is really important is I feel as if that students need to have a voice, because it is your school, it is your education. And so it is important that you advocate for different courses that we offer at Palmer High School. And I definitely know students come to me and each year they're asking for different AP courses and we keep increasing them. So this year we have 10 AP courses. Next year students have advocated for 2 more. And so we will have 12 AP courses going into next school year. I know that that doesn't impact you because you're moving on to college, both of you. But I want to ask you about your experiences in the different AP courses. So can you tell me, because you're both part of those programs, so can you please tell me, like, what is your favorite AP course and what about it is really exciting that you like being in that class?
So, like you said, we have a variety of, numerous of different AP courses that cover subjects that, all students take: math, English, writing, science, history, etc. I would say my favorite has been probably last year, my junior year, I took AP statistics. I think, going into financing in college and accounting, studying that, I think that's what the class that really will benefit me and kind of get me that feel for what classes may be, taking classes at college, like in that type of field. I just think the opportunity is amazing for students, just to get that feel of the workload that they're going to face in college, and the opportunity to take the final exams for each of the AP classes, which allow them to gain college credits, to skip classes in college, kind of already get those credits for those college classes, and that's just a huge step, like in your college career, and it definitely removes a huge workload away. And I think the school as well does a great job at allowing students, advocate for classes that they want. Like every year, it seems like we're adding not just even new AP courses, but even like electives that allow students to, take classes in their interests, have fun, clubs, every sports, everything. Just allowing students to, have fun, take classes that they're interested in, and will hopefully pursue in their careers in college.
Yeah, that is great. And another thing that you were indicating too is that when you take the AP exam and you get a 3, 4, or 5, depending on what college it is you're attending, that might cover you not having to take that course in college, right?
Exactly.
So that saves you money, a lot of money.
Right.
So it is exciting for students to take the opportunity to pursue and to challenge themselves by being in the AP courses, and you both definitely do that.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
Vanessa, can you tell us about your favorite AP class and what is it about that class that really interests you?
I'd have to say that my favorite AP class would be AP Literature because I feel like you use like writing and literature in every single day of your life, and it's really improving, like, to me, that for when I go into college, I'll have like those skills, and also like when I'm applying for scholarships, it's something that I feel like personally I really needed to work on, and I feel like I improved tremendously due to that course, as well as reading poems is very hard, and her like teaching us how to like read into the poems and throughout the work. I feel like it really helped me for my future.
That is great. That's wonderful. I want to thank both of you for being here and going through and explaining the different programs and experiences that you have had at Palmer High School. I really appreciate that, so thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
Welcome back. Miss North, this segment we're actually talking about 2 different things.
Correct.
Well, different but closely related.
Yes.
Who do we have joining us and what are we talking about today?
So we are very lucky to have Jared Haley joining us. He is one of our science department heads, and he is going to be talking to us about course offerings that we have at the high school, as well as international travel for our students.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you.
So, course offerings.
Yes.
You think small district,
Yep.
you think small school, you think 6 through 12.
Yep.
Not a lot of course offerings.
Fair.
That's what you think
Yeah.
coming in.
Yep.
Is that the case?
No, it's not the reality of the situation. We're very fortunate at Palmer High School to have some really well-qualified staff, and so we've done our utmost to try and create a wide breadth of options for students.
So, and one thing that had carried over into the other segments as well is student choice or even student voice.
Yeah.
Right? So what's the likelihood that students are coming to you as a department head and saying, Mr. Haley, I want this course?
Oh, it happens all the time. And so what happens is students express maybe what they think they might want to try out in college or what they might want to do with their lives. And so when they come to us, we're so fortunate to have so many different course offerings. We can kind of guide them down a path that would sort of at least let them experiment with that so that they can discover whether it's something that's for them or not at the collegiate level or beyond. So.
And speaking of course offerings,
Yeah.
and if we stick within the science realm, because
Yeah.
that's your domain,
Absolutely.
when you think of course offerings for freshman, sophomore, or whatever,
Yeah.
they have a variety of tiers within that. So, for example, like
General honors and AP.
yeah. And what's the difference between that?
It's primarily how much coursework you want to take on. So in a general curriculum classroom, you should expect to see maybe homework 3 times a week, like a lot of hands-on support for everything that you're learning. In an honors classroom, we take a little bit of the gloves off. We say, okay, well now you're going to be responsible for a little bit more independent learning. You're still going to get packed in with class, but you're going to have homework 5 nights a week. And some of that might be expected to be stuff that you're going to learn sort of on your own. And then at the AP level, we take that sort of to the extreme. So we say, okay, hands are off. This is an AP course. We spend most of class learning about labs and different things we can do with the content. And you're expected at home to learn the content that you're going to be expected to perform in the lab the next day. So you kind of learn at home, come reinforce that understanding in school. We spend all 84 minutes reinforcing the content with labs, with handouts, assignments, things like that. But a lot of it comes down to independent learning and what you can do at home. And that's so important because on top of just learning the content, you're training your mind to think in an AP class and critically think through challenges that could come up throughout your entire life. So like it trains your brain in a way that otherwise you don't get exposed to that real in-depth sort of critical thinking you're forced to do in an AP classroom. So
you say there's general,
Yep.
or some places called CP, college
yes,
prep,
that's exactly correct. Yep.
and then you go honors,
Yep.
and then AP. For the viewing audience, what does AP stand for?
So it stands for Advanced Placement, but really what it is a college level course offered at the high school level.
And those classes that are leveled, they're weighted differently for GPA, correct?
That's exactly correct.
So an honors class
Yep.
is weighted a little higher
Yep.
GPA-wise
Yep.
than that CP.
Yep.
And that AP class,
is even higher than the honors class.
now you just mentioned in regards to AP being a college level course.
Yes.
Do they get college credit for it? Do they? What does that look like?
So at the end of the semester, they have the opportunity to take the AP exam, which is administered throughout the state. And on that AP exam, you can score between a 1 and a 5. And each different college you apply to after high school is going to accept a different score. So maybe an Ivy League school it needs you to get a 5 in order to waive and offer you that credit so that you don't have to take it at the collegiate level, whereas another school might say 3. So I think in general, most colleges are taking a 3 on the AP test. So you take the test, if you score a 3, you're demonstrating to that college that you've learned that content thoroughly enough to their standards. And therefore, yes, you can pass that college course. You can come in with maybe an entire semester of college work already under your belt, which saves you thousands of dollars in the long run, tens of thousands potentially. So, yeah.
So with that academic rigor of an AP course,
Yeah.
what kind of numbers I would think with taking a college level course,
Yep.
having to take a AP exam, which is it's the AP exam throughout the United States,
Yep.
scoring on it, this, that, and the other thing, all this independent work and things like that.
Yeah.
You're gonna be lucky to have 2-3 kids in that class.
Not necessarily at all. So here at Palmer High School, we push our students to try and expound upon and push themselves to take AP coursework as much as we can. For example, I'm just offering AP Chemistry for the first time next year, and I'm very excited. I have 18 students signed up for that course. And in AP Bio this year, I think we had 26 enrolled in AP Bio this year. So we're pushing those students to try and take those AP courses and save themselves time, money, effort at the collegiate level down the line. So.
You mentioned AP Chem.
Yep.
You got another AP, I think it's pre-calc, am I
Pre-calc.
correct?
Yep.
Total numbers, Miss North, not to put you on the spot, but total number of courses AP is being offered.
This year is 10. Going into next year will be 12.
Which completely, and I said it during the school to career program, small district, small high school, offering 12 AP courses for our students is remarkable.
Sure is.
Absolutely remarkable.
Yeah.
Last question in regards to course offerings.
Yeah.
APs, traditionally, what grade level student
Yep.
takes an AP course?
So it depends, actually. We're really fortunate to be able to work around our schedule a little bit. So as early as 10th grade, you can start taking APs in science. So you could, for example, take AP Biology 10th grade year. AP Chemistry is a junior, senior class because it requires advanced mathematics that they don't have access to until junior, senior year. Same thing with AP Physics. And then AP Environmental Science, they can also do 10th grade year. So starting in 10th grade, you can already start earning college credit.
College credits.
Absolutely. And then that way they're not required to, at a lot of schools, they're only open junior, senior year. So junior, senior year, you're forced to take 3-4 AP classes if you want to take those AP classes at all. And I just told you how much work it takes. Yep. And so being able to spread it out over the course of a couple different years is huge for our students too. Yeah.
Year-long course, or are they semester within the block schedule that we run?
Right now, they're all semester courses.
All still semester, so
Yes.
that AP course within the semester.
With the exception of maybe AP US History, I believe is full year. Every other AP offering is semester.
Got
And
it.
we have AP Calc, that's a full year too.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
But the reason why our AP classes are so successful is really because of the teachers that we have at Palmer High School, their enthusiasm, their care for every single student to be successful, and they encourage them to challenge themselves to really reach and do better. And that is because of our teachers.
And thank you for bringing up the teachers, because it's my understanding that in order to teach an AP course,
Yeah.
there's an AP training
That's correct.
that goes along with that.
That's correct.
Very true.
Mass Insight, I think, is the one
Yes.
that does it, and
Yep.
it's not like a day-long training
Nope.
that you just. It's
So a week and a half, 2 weeks.
It's an extensive training,
Yeah.
and to go through
Yep.
in order to then teach the course.
Exactly. I have mine scheduled this summer. So
Yes,
yeah, I'll be experiencing it soon.
Another thing you've been involved in is international travel,
Yeah, it's something that we're so fortunate to be able to offer our students. Absolutely.
and the most recent trip
Yep.
was to Costa Rica.
That's absolutely
correct.
Yep.
Yes.
How does one get involved, either as from the student standpoint?
Yeah.
When does it happen?
Yep.
Where do they go? Who picks where they go?
Absolutely. So I ran the program for the last couple of years. I finally kind of handed off the reins to my successor.
Okay.
But whoever runs the program for a given year decides on the location based on student interest. So we try and pull the students to see where they kind of want to go. And then depending on that, we'll select locations that are best suited to our students and that best meet their needs too. The whole purpose is to get them exposure to different climates, to different environments, different cultures,
yeah.
foods, everything.
Yep.
And so we want to select places that would be really great for our students to visit too. Now, starting this year and moving forward, it's always advertised a year in advance.
Okay.
So you have a full year and a half.
Because
if
there
not a
is
little
cost.
bit over. There is, yes. We fundraise, we try and save money as much as we can for the students. Fortunately, the travel programs we go through offer kickbacks as well for student enrollment. That all goes back to the students. So, running the trip, we take nothing. It all goes back to the kids. And so we're able to offer a lot of different sort of fundraising opportunities for them, so to reduce the cost. But yes, there is a cost associated with it. We do our best to reduce it. And so the whole point or purpose of starting so early is that you can set up a payment plan over the course of a year and a half and really make it much more manageable to afford international travel for our students.
Places that students have gone to?
Yeah, I've been with students to France, Spain, Greece, Iceland, and Costa Rica twice now. Yes.
Amazing.
And our
amazing.
numbers are huge
Yeah, we
that
usually
participate in that.
we've traveled between 24 and 34 every year since the program's inception.
That was one of my questions. And how do students then get involved? Is there information that goes out? You said that it's a year in advance.
Yep.
Where are students going next year? Do we know yet?
Yeah, next year they're going
They
to Italy.
do. Yeah,
Going to
Italy.
Italy.
Going to Italy
Yes.
next year. Yep. They're doing a tour of all of Italy, so they're going to do Rome. They're going to do Florence, which is great because it's a huge piece of Italian Renaissance art. So students who are in art history class get to see the art they're talking about in class in person. Can you imagine learning about the David and then going to
Going to
Italy
see it.
and seeing the David, So there's great cross-curricular content that goes into the course too, or goes into the trip too. And it's amazing. So.
How do students get involved? Do they just show interest? Is
Yep.
there forms?
So we
Is there...
advertise, we send out Google Forms, then we have like a parent interest meeting where we give all of the information to the parents, let them sort of make their decision based on that. And then if they decide to pursue further, then we host additional meetings where parents and students come in, we talk about the process, what's going to be involved, what they should pack, what they should do. And there's a series of meetings that lead up to like actual leaving for the trip.
Lots of support to make sure that they are well prepared for the trip.
Absolutely. I mean, these are some life skills too. You know, like a lot of these students feel comfortable traveling on a plane by themselves after the trip. You know, it's like things that like maybe they've never done before that just they learn how to act appropriately in a foreign country. Things that like skills that you might not necessarily ever have access to if you don't participate in a trip. And just traveling with all your friends. Like when in adult life you get to travel with 30 friends, you know, like, so it's just such a different thing that.
Strictly a high school, this is my last question in regards
absolutely.
strictly a high school program, or
Yep.
is it, you know, what age group can get involved in it in the international trip?
Right now it's open 10 to 12. We're thinking about expanding to 9th grade soon as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's primarily based on like maturity. Again, we're in a foreign country, so we need to make sure the students are emotionally prepared for an endeavor of that undertaking, you know? So.
Which completely, and throughout our segments, we talked about multiple things. You think of, you know, Palmer High, smaller district, smaller building. There's school to career. There is the pathway program that's starting next year. There's the vast array of AP coursework, honors courseworks on top of that, and then the international travel. I mean, for a small district and a smaller high school in the Commonwealth, the opportunities and the offerings are remarkable.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah, it's awesome to be able to offer that to our students.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's
So
a
thank
good
you for
thing.
joining us today.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
really
Thank you for
appreciate
having me.
it.
Yeah,
Ms.
absolutely.
Moore, thank you.
you.